I'll just come fairly quickly to something. I'd like to get it out of the way because again it's personal, like the Harvard thing. I did very well in the Navy because I didn't have to make money with my ship. All I do is run a good ship. And when I came out of the Navy, because I had done well in it, a lot of my young friends, particularly my rich friends, thought they'd make a lot of money backing me, and I decided to go in the building game in the building. I did get up these 240 buildings, but I didn't make any money. I lost all my friends' money. I felt really terribly about it. Luckily, they were all quite rich people, so that it didn't really hurt their lives, but it made me feel very badly about it. And so, another thing, very personal in our lives, my wife and I married in 1917, just beginning of World War I, and our first child was born just at approximately the last day of the war, and she caught flu, which was then an epidemic, and then spinal meningitis and then infantile paralysis. And we had long battles with the doctors. She died just on her 4th birthday. And by this time I was getting sensitive about principles and capabilities of humanity, and I felt the things that were happening to her, if we really were paying more attention to life itself than to the killing which I experienced such powerful instruments, experience with. I said, I think these things might not have happened. At any rate, 5 years, she died just the year I was starting this business. Then just as the business all went badly, our second child was born in 1927. So suddenly I was penniless, and as far as I was concerned, in great disgrace, and a beautiful new life depending on me. And I said, I'm just never going to make a success in business. I never came to saying I'm going to have to compete with you. I said, you take it. I can get on. I really had a very powerful kind of conviction of that kind, so I never could make money. I always let the other guy get the money. Anyway, I said I'm quite clearly going to be a failure in the world that I've grown up in, the people I know and everything. And I'm going to continue to be that way, and I think it's thing to get rid of me, and they won't have disgrace around them. So I'm going to commit suicide. So that was in 1927 in Chicago, and I did go to Lake Michigan, and I convinced myself I had no trouble about diving in and swimming out as far as you could go. I could do that. And I said, I think all your years you've been being told never to pay attention to your own thinking. And I think you better do some thinking just for a minute or two before you jump in there. Really, no kidding. I've had an incredible number of experiences, some very top ones. And I really know how a lot of things work that I don't realize many society don't know. So if I get rid of me, I'm really getting rid of what might be a linkage in information gaining. So I said, if I were then to commit ego suicide, me forever, that I would never use my information ever again except for everybody. Never for my side, never for my family, but only for everybody. I might be justified in keeping me going. So that was a very important basic decision, and it gets into something which I was called, again, the principle itself. That is, I've discovered the more people I'm working for, the more effective I am. If you work for everybody, you're maximally effective. If you work on things that are only useful to everybody, really just spontaneously gets you into a much more effective field, that's all. And if you make any breakthroughs when you're working for everybody, you're really dealing in the cosmic phenomena. This is getting in the universe itself. So I didn't think about it that way. The point was to commit myself to everybody. And gradually began to realize principles were being disclosed by the decisions themselves. Been my working assumption from the beginning, because of synergy, we don't start with the universe of of one principle. We find the universe is a complex of principles. The universe is inherently complex and not simplex. The concave and convex are not the same, and they always and only coexist. Unity is at plural and at minimum two. I'm going to just state a few of these things right now. I'm sure that everybody in this audience uses the words up and down. And the words up and down have absolutely no meaning. There's no up and down in the universe. The words up and down came out of really very much of a conspiracy at one time to try to make the humans think about the earth as being flat. It's a schematic way of thinking, but it's still absolutely, if you're using the words up and down now, you're completely hooked by the Dark Ages conspiracy. I just want you to realize that you start say, what words should I use instead of up and down? And there are proper words. The proper words are in and out. You go into the moon, you go into the earth, you go into the house, you go instairs, you go outstairs. Out is any direction, and in is always point to, but always specific. And by using words in and out instead of up and down, you then come into a completely new world. Using the words in and out instead of up and down, you're going to find very rewarding, but you're going to find more and more discoveries. You're going to tune in very much more than you ever did before. The reason that precession has been really misunderstood because we tend to think if I push or pull you, you'll yield in 180 degrees. And we find precession is the effect of bodies in motion on other bodies in motion, and the effect is then to make them go at 90 degrees. It's really very exciting. Things you've never understood before, you suddenly begin to understand once you feel precession personally. These are things you have not really understood before, but feel absolutely clear to you once you feel precession. To understand, the fact is, society is continually thinking this 180 degrees, and practically nothing operates that way. Anyway, I find much of social behavior has never been understood, become clearly understood when you understand precession. but there are always 6 positive, 6 negative degrees of freedom.